This video, I want to talk to you about life is like the seasons. And I first heard this from Jim Rohn. I think it's so important. If you pay attention, you can see how this is so true. And so I think about, it talks about the ants in the Bible. They don't have anybody over them, and they still work hard during the summer preparing for the winter. Like, there's nobody telling them what to do. Just doing it. They're just doing what they know to do. And so we know in life that we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have, times when things are great and then times when things are not so great. And so we just have to be mindful that life is like the seasons. And in every season, we ought to be grateful that things are as well as they are. And so whenever we start to complain about the season that we're in, we can find that things will get worse. Things will get a lot worse before they get better. So always be grateful. And also, when I think about being grateful, I think about all the people, the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of people that would trade places with me in an instant. In an instant, they would trade places with me. So be grateful in every season. Trust God in the good and the bad. Trust God in the good and the bad. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. But life is like the seasons. We're going to have good and bad times. And just like it talks about the ants in the Bible, I think we ought to be preparing. When things are good, we should be saving our money, doing things that prepare us so that we can be okay through the bad. When things are good, well, all the time, I think we ought to be praying, reading our word, reading scripture every single day so that we're prepared. We know the scriptures to stand on. We know how to handle the bad better. And so life is like the seasons. Start paying attention. When things are good, we really ought to be preparing for when things are not as good. So just something to be thinking about today is, what do you do during the changing seasons? Are you preparing when it's good? Are you preparing for when it's going to be not so good? You're preparing, and if you're preparing, what else can you do to make things better when they're not as good as you'd like for them to be? There's a lot of things that we can do to prepare in the seasons when things are good.